It's a Barbie world, even in the 40th millennia. Hey, how's it going? Rick Strohmeyer here. Thanks for joining Art and Toy Theory today. And a little note in my history is that when in college, to earn extra money for whatever, I'd paint miniatures for people. I'd do 40K and Warhammer, Dungeons and Dragons, any other type of tabletop game that people wanted their stuff customized for. I was pretty much the guy to go to. Times have changed, techniques have changed, but one thing remains constant. In Space Marines, no girls are allowed, and that's a problem. Problem was pointed out or noted when listening to various YouTubers, and they've all dropped a comment about no girls being allowed there. And the game's been around for 30 some years, and yep, being a Space Marine itself is an exclusive club, and we're going to change that today. One of the easiest ways to do a head swap or to have a Marine is to do a head swap. You just take the helmet off and put a female head on it. Boom, there it is. And then you got Space Marines that are Brienne of Tarth. But if you're here and if you're like me, you want everything customized. Quick note, I've never played 40K before in my life. So we're going to jump into a segment that I like to call From What I Understand. So, from what I understand, the men inside the Space Marine armor are way bigger than regular dudes. And that's so that they can put power armor. And I assume that if a lady was wearing the power armor, they too would be genetically modified to carry this heavy suit. So, it would be like imagining if pre-super soldier serum Steve Rogers, that skinny little dude, was your average dude, and then after the super soldier serum, that's the dude that's going into the big heavy suits. So if Captain Carter were to have received the super soldier serum, she'd be bigger than Thor. All right. So we're gonna transition to the computer, and I'm gonna run through the my mock-up of this, and you're going to see my design aesthetic at work. And yeah, let's get going. So the base we start out with is the female human, and we don't stay here long. Fueled by my assumption that the Space Marine is a way bigger build than a regular human being, we're going to move over to a different race that heroforge has, just to hack having to do all the measurements on the human form. So we're going to move on over to the half giant and get that rolling. This has the advantage of making sure the armor works on this build instead of like having to make it contour around the measurements of the human. Then we have to alter the face because we don't want that to have all those enlarged proportions. So we're going to move over to the delicate features and start making some more chiseled looks for the face. And now we're starting to look more feminine in the facial features. Then we're going to go switch the ears out to make those more human and grab the human ears. And then a Barbie should have long flowing hair. So we're going to grab we're going to look for different hair options, and we could give her a sisters a battle bob, or we could give short hair, long hair. And I'm going to go with a wavy ponytail because this can interact well with the upcoming equipment that we're going to give her. HeroForge offers so many hair options at this point in time that you can change up every hair style and have a squad based on just hairstyles. It's wonderful. But today the Barbie gets the utilitarian ponytail. And this is then the next option might be a little controversial, but in the end it'll play out. So we're going to grab, instead of the regular human eyebrows, we're going to grab the bushy ones. And this is because I want to help exaggerate her expression. When we get to the facial expression, you'll see that that's super exaggerated, and it works. And it's going to be a little easier to paint at whatever scale. And then to go with the idea of accentuating facial features, I'm going to give her the goblinoid fangs. It's just very anime style of when we're gritting our teeth and going, we want to be able to see teeth, and the diagonal lines are going to help create more visual interest. And like I said, we're going to have her going and looking ready for battle, and beautiful doing so. So we're going to go over the facial features, and we're going to give her the snarl to 100%. And you can see that those goblinoid fangs look wonderful. The eyebrows totally over exaggerate the expression. And it was pretty simple to just move the slider over to 100, and now we have totally interesting angry Barbie going on. And then we are going to go for the clothing. And with the clothing, you can just go in, type assault, and boom, we're done. No, so this is HeroForge's answer, what I assume is HeroForge's answer for the Space Marine. And it looks fine. It's a little generic. It looks more like a law enforcement character from Judge Dredd. But it is what it is. It's a good start, and we're gonna totally change it up. So first, I want the head to be visible, and then we're gonna start from the shoulders down to the feet. So the shoulder pads are fine. The only problem I have is that they don't synergize with the rest of the 40K Space Marine designs on shoulder pads. Even though we're customizing a unit, all the Space Marines pretty much have the same shoulder design, and I think that this should too, just to make it look like it does fit inside that world. So that being said, we're going to ditch the layered plates, and we're going to grab something that fits the aesthetic better. So we're going to grab the plate mail shoulder pauldrons. And what I like about these is, one, they don't have rivets on them, which kills my aesthetic for trying to do something futuristic. And then two, they do fit that Games Workshop vibe of something very smooth and open, so that you can put a lot of decorations on there. You can freehand stuff. You can put decals on there. You can even sculpt your own custom bits on there. So, and it has the trim that a lot of Space Marines have for being able to outline or separate the colors. So this works out great, and this is where this is the beginning of our fabulous Space Marine. Next, we're going to grab the torso, and I want a top that is going to be able to show that it has a feminine features, but it's still not going to have everything pushed out and exposed. So I'm grabbing the tactical top because it does help have an hourglass form, so you can see curvature there. But everything's still tucked in nice and protected, which is the way ladies want it. You want to be Brienne of Tarth here. Um, I know it's fantasy, but we're going to keep more function over form. Then we're going to move on to the gauntlets, and I'm going to grab the Black Guard gauntlets. I love these for a couple of reasons. One, they have the big bulky trim at the end to synergize with the shoulder blades, and they have some extra layers which help create visual interest. And it has gloves, and that's going to help beef up the hands. So all in all, yeah, good choice. Then we're going to go to the legs. These legs are fine. They help build up the thighs, but I'm going to go with something a little more armored, less ribbed, and we're going to use the half plate leggings to just give some visual interest in here. She will have no booty thanks to this, but that's all right. It'll be taken care of later. And yeah, and this helps slim it down, even though I've been preaching about bulk, but it helps slim it down. Gives it a little more effeminate feel, even though we're here for saving the Empire. And lastly, for the clothing, we're going to give Black Guard boots. Black Guard boots are in the same suite as the gauntlets, and yeah, it fits with the idea that you have armor that doesn't have rivets, or buckles, but they definitely look medieval. And the trim helps tie everything together with the shoulders and the gauntlets. And yeah, we're good to go and ready to whoop some ass. And then the final detail we're going to put on the clothing, even though I said we're done, is we're going to put a skirt on there, because 40K folks, they wear skirts, tabards, etc. around, and we're going to grab the Paladin tabard, and this is going to help twofold. One, we have a little more visual interest in the front. We can custom paint it however we want. It's also going to hide the idea that there is no booty armor there. So, and it has a belt included, which is nice. So when we start adding accessories on the side, there is a design element that looks like it should attach to that, and that's handy. So there we are, fully clothed Barbie Space Marine, or I guess now just a female Space Marine. All right, first came the clothes, now comes the pose. Right now she's standing there like, what the hell? We don't need that. We got to give her some action, and looks like we're ready to knock out everything in the name of the Empire. So we're going to go with the pugilist stance, and yeah, put up your dukes. The other design advantage I have for the pugilist is that it opens up the hips, and I can put any gear there without having the arms interfere.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
First piece of equipment to hang off the belt, I'm grabbing the sheathed lion's fang sword. Just has the right element to where when we're not holding the rest of our equipment, we're going to grab this and slay. Then on the other side, we're going to grab a book. We could go with the Necronomicon, we could go with a beaten up book, we could go grab the fancy book. I don't understand. If somebody can explain it to me, that why people carry books into battle on in the Imperium of Man. I think it's cool. Knowledge is power. And then we got to give her a weapon or two. So I'm going with my perceived aesthetic of the Grey Knights, and I'm going to give her a glaive. And yeah, but here's the cool thing about heroforge. If you don't like if you don't like, or if you don't think that it meshes with your 40K aesthetic, I would put in something that just makes the hand wrap around whatever you do want to use, so that you could snip it off later and put in your own equipment. But I would put in an item that would allow for the top and bottom to be cut off easily, and put in your own custom piece. So yeah, and then with the pugilist, once you start putting equipment in, yeah, the pose changes, and I like this because it just looks like we're gonna stab somebody with something that's made for hacking, and this pleases me. And now we're at the part where I like on my custom toys to add like backpacks or something interesting in the back. There are a lot of cool futuristic options that Hero Forge has, and they all look like their own. They don't have a Games Workshop vibe, but if you're only customizing this for your squad, then it looks cool. You will have something unique that, unless you're fighting another team that's used Hero Forge units, is unique to you. And if you don't like the backpacks, there's always another extra option that you can do that I think works great. Besides just not doing anything, if you want to leave it alone and then add your own bitter bob to it later on, cool. But then the other cool hack that you can do is wings. So yeah, there's a bunch of wing options that you could add on to your character to give it as much customization as possible. And you can go from little angel wings or bird wings to great big damn bird wings. And you can go with futuristic wings. They have a couple options for that. My big concern would be, as cool as they are, I don't know what tactical advantage or disadvantage they would have. They might be hard to clump units together. But my big concern was with those spindly bits, transporting them outside to your game store is going to be terrifying. But they have a smaller option that looks solid, and you can go with that, or you can go back to the bird wings, the butterfly wings, to demon wings, and you could even change it up to like the hierarchy of your squad. Grunts could have bug wings, the next higher up could have bird wings, and then the next higher up could have demon wings. And that's just a cool way to differentiate your unit from everybody else's, and customization is awesome. But for this build, we're going to use the heavy tech rucksack so that she can be in a world of technological advances. And the last thing we're going to add on is a laser gun of some sort. What futuristic fighter is complete without one? So we're grabbing the railgun and putting it on the backpack, and boom, she's done, good to go, ready to claim victory in the name of the Empire. One more final detail. I'm going to go to the stage section and grab the slot base, because I'm going to imagine that if I'm making a custom figure, I'm going to make custom bases on my own time to do this. Yeah, and it's just going to be easier to transfer instead of crack off all that extra base material. And through the power of time, we have a colorized Barbie Space Marine. And through the power of a peer group, changed the color of the glaive blade from pink to blue. And I think it helps move the eye around from having a blue element from every angle. And yeah, it's a nice extra bonus pop. So here we go. I fixed the hair so that it flows over the backpack. And yeah, here we go. We're going to do a close-up of the face, and you get to see how cool that those questionable features, now they look great. And that concludes the Strohmeyer version of a female Space Marine, the Barbie colorway. If you enjoyed this, there are a lot more concepts up in the old noodle. If you have something in mind, go ahead and put it in the comments below. Thanks a bunch. Oh, what are you doing here? The video's done. But since you're here still, thanks for the continued watch, and if you'll please click the subscribe button, the follow, I'd appreciate that. Since I've said I will never waste your time or mine doing a subscribe-like video or portion during the video itself, this is bonus if you happen to keep watching. Thanks a bunch. Have a super day.